Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company TMB show presented by Starne's Barbershop, where we cover everything on the court with the North Green Lady Huskies and Huskies basketball teams. As always, I'm joined here with Lady Huskies head coach James Buchanan and Huskies head coach Sam Tarleton. Fellas, how we doing this evening?
Good, Tyler. Just a little sleepy.
Out of school today.
Out of school.
How about that? A little rainy outside.
Jehovah Jireh.
Say that again?
Jehovah Jireh.
What's that?
There's your homework.
Okay.
I want you to find out what that phrase means.
Okay. We'll come in here next week and we'll start the show with that.
We'll just
say it again.
We'll say this. I needed rest. I needed sleep. Jehovah Jireh.
Jehovah Jireh.
Yep.
All right.
Let me write it out for you.
There's Jireh.
Sure,
right
yeah.
up there.
All right.
Where'd you find that?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Is Jehovah spelled the same way as I think it is?
Right there you go. Take that with you. I will say, I'll put it down here in parentheses. You'll find it in the book of Genesis.
Okay.
Just remember, I needed rest. I needed sleep. Jehovah Jireh.
There we go.
Because we were coming off 5 games in 5 days and then 3 games last week. I looked at it, counted it up. It was 8 games in 12 days.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It's a lot for you guys for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you all needed the rest too because
I bet it's driving you crazy, ain't it?
What's that?
What it means.
Jehovah Jireh?
Yeah, it's driving you crazy, I bet.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
All right.
I seen 112-mile-per-hour winds in Camp Creek.
120. I live pretty close to Camp
Is
Creek.
that real
My
thing?
goodness.
Gusts.
Is that why we were out?
Yeah. Potential threat. I mean, imagine driving a school bus. It's probably rocking anyway. You get them kids on there. Just put a little wind with it. And then some bad drivers. You know, I heard once upon a time that it wasn't necessarily that the school system is concerned with the bus driver's ability to drive in those conditions. It's the obstructions that they might face. You know, whether it be a downed tree, some downed limbs. So those are all things to consider. I wouldn't want that job. If I had that job, we'd be out of school all the time. And then you'd have parents mad because they have to go to work. Nobody's there to watch their kids all of a sudden. They didn't know they were going to be out of school. I'm sure they get phone calls. I would not want that job.
Me neither. You'll make somebody mad no matter what you do.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah. That happens sometimes in basketball.
Yeah.
Did you believe that, Tyler?
I do believe that. 110%.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't please everybody.
No, you can't, no matter how hard you try.
I think you get paid a lot more at that other job, though.
I'd say it's probably double, triple, whatever we make. There's things in life more important than money, Tyler. Don't ever forget that.
I know.
Sam won our competition.
He did.
He's the man.
Speaking of being out of school, did you stay up and watch the rest of that last night?
I watched it till they threw the last interception. I thought, well, let's switch it over and see what Cody Rhodes is doing.
Okay. How'd that go? I didn't watch any of that.
Nah, he won a street fight.
Well, you knew
against
he's man.
Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah.
I didn't really watch much of that national championship game till the very end.
You didn't miss much. First quarter was,
Oh, Lord.
yeah.
2 long runs I seen.
Looked
2
like it's
long
going to be
runs.
a wipeout.
And then second quarter,
Was Michigan just better up front? Is that probably what it was?
Well, they got some kind of an award that I didn't even know they gave. They were talking about it last night. Apparently, the Michigan offensive line won some kind of an award for being the best offensive line in America. And I think maybe that was a pro game I was watching the other day. It was a game I watched, and they were talking about how there had been no changes to the offensive line the whole year. That all 5 guys had played.
I
just
bet
about
that
every
don't
snap.
hardly ever happen.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was watching. But anyway, apparently they had like the best defense. They won that award. And then best offensive line. They won that award. It's a pretty good recipe for building a national champion.
I didn't
Yeah.
watch much, but every time I was watching, they kept calling that he's the one that got the interception and ran it all the way. But they called his name a bunch, saying something.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Yeah, he was good. Seemed like.
a lot of drop passes though, and some misses.
Very frustrating to
Penix,
watch.
he missed a couple.
The right when I turned it on too, it was third down and 7, old buddy came out of the backfield and had
Yeah,
an
dropped
easy
it.
first down.
Yeah.
Dropped it.
That happened a couple times.
That seemed like a big play in the game.
Well, that just kind of gets everything over with now, so we can prepare for Tennessee's march to the national title in 2024.
Are we going to get... I keep reading that one from LSU.
offensive line?
tackle.
We need him bad.
Is he visiting?
I seen somebody. He
Yeah,
visited
he
this
visited,
last
I
weekend.
thought.
I seen somebody this morning. And of course, on Twitter, you can't never tell. Glover's got the insider stuff, so he knows.
Yeah, we need to call Glover.
On Twitter, it said we just jumped on. I don't know if it was 247 or one of them things. We just jumped up to where it says
The crystal ball.
we're 96.7% to get him.
How do you even determine that? The only person that knows is the kid, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
So how do you get inside his brain? You're like, well, he's 96.7% sure that he's coming to Tennessee.
let's see where I seen that at.
Well, we need some help. We've had a few jump in the portal. We need a few to jump out.
There was one from Kansas that we had over the weekend too, and he's already committed to Texas A&M.
That don't matter.
Must have been some money or something.
Well, if they came to Knoxville this past weekend, they watched us put a hurting on the Ole Miss
Did you
Rebels.
see
Good.
that? Ooh,
Good.
smacked him. Hey, that what's that coach's name? Beard.
Beard.
Yeah,
He
he came
said-
from Texas.
Deserved
Came
every bit of that beating.
Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
Texas boy.
He said that was his first SEC game, and he was really, really surprised and impressed just with our venue, how big it was, how
Yeah.
many people was in there.
Thompson Bowling is one of the biggest.
Said he was.
You can go to the circus down there and just hear people talk about how, man, there ain't many places like this. You ever watch, I watch wrestling just about every week, and they go all over the country. And they'll always tell how many people,
Are inside
sell
the
out
venue,
crowd of 17,000, 15,000. And it's very rare you get one up in the 20s. So, Thompson Bowling's probably one of the bigger indoor, basketball college venues.
I got you one of this read right here. 1997, Michigan won the national title in the final year of the Pole National Championship. 1998, Tennessee wins the title in the first year of the BCS. 2023, Michigan won the national title in the final year of the four-team college football playoff. 2024, it's going to be us, baby.
Yeah, it's just
History
fate.
repeats itself.
It's fate.
365 days we'll revisit this.
366, Tyler. It's
Yeah, it's a leap year. It is a leap year.
Titans fired Mike
Here's
Vrabel.
what
I saw that. I don't care if she.
Who's talking to us? Who's that
Siri.
woman?
Yeah, I turned her off.
Okay.
What do you think about that firing?
I don't really keep up with the NFL, to be honest with
They
you.
didn't have a very good year.
I
I
don't
guess
know.
if you determine whether or not a person gets to stay or not by wins and
But-
losses, I guess he.
But they traded away. He got him to the AFC Championship, and then the next year they traded away his best offensive player, and then this year they were 500 early, and they literally traded away all of his good defensive players. I think it was a mutual thing.
Derrick Henry said he was leaving.
They were wanting to rebuild, and he wasn't wanting to rebuild, so maybe that's why. Yeah, Derrick Henry's he's
There's a
about
lot more to it than wins and losses, especially at that level. You may just have a general manager that don't like the coach, or an owner that don't like something. Wonder what's going to happen with Belichick.
I think he's gone too. I think his is going to be one of those mutual partings where him and Robert Kraft sit down and just say, look,
He may be
we're not
there
helping the team at the moment, so.
because I seen where he said he was okay with relinquishing his whatever. He does
Mhm.
personnel too right now, don't he?
He may stick around then.
He said he's okay with relinquishing that if everybody thinks that's what the problem is.
I know there was a lot more to talk about with the NFL, and we were supposed to do a basketball show, I think,
Yeah,
at some point.
it usually goes this
Here's
way.
the big topic of discussion now in the NFL. Of course, you got the playoffs.
You're going to talk about the draft.
What are the Bears going to do?
You gotta go get that Williams boy, don't you? It ain't Fields.
It ain't Fields, and if they needed any kind of... Why am I beating up a poor guy? I don't even know. Bless his heart. But you know how every once in a while they'll just tease you. And you see moments of brilliance, and you think, yeah, this is our guy for the future. Well, it was kind of up and down. Just when you think he's the man, then he would struggle, and you're like, well, maybe it's not him. And then he'd do something, they won like 4 or 5 out of their last whatever, and actually got back in the playoff picture there for
Jumped
about
to
5
like
seconds.
the 3rd to like the 10th pick. I think
Well,
they got the 9th.
Then you got a chance to keep Green Bay out of the playoffs. And you didn't do it.
Scored 2 field goals.
Let's move on.
I saw something on Twitter that
He looks
was
good. The quarterback for
Love.
Green Bay, he's looking like he's there.
Yeah.
Love.
They might have got it right 3 straight times. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw somebody made a funny joke talking about how the Packers always have a 15-plus year starter.
Yeah.
And said the next Green Bay quarterback's sitting in 2nd grade right now,
Yeah.
coloring between the lines.
And the Bears will have like 25 between now and then. Where they
I saw a stat during the Bears game. Justin Fields did not throw a pass for over an hour. It was either a run play, a designed run with him.
Or he scrambled around.
Yep.
Or the other team had the ball.
Yep.
Over an hour.
Over an hour.
See, come on now.
That doesn't sound like a real stat, but they actually brought it up on the broadcast, which makes you believe that it has to be real.
It's time to move on. And you got Fields under contract. So, I mean, he'd be very appealing to somebody. As a backup or maybe a starter in some places.
Well, the thing
They
is,
could get a good return for him.
could you trade him to one of the teams that are above you in the draft? Maybe trade Fields to Atlanta, who needs a quarterback.
Who's above him? I thought they had the number 1 pick.
They've got the number 1 and the 9. So I'm saying you could trade your
I'd say if you
pick
get
and
what you
Fields.
want at 1, what you need will be there at 9 in some form or
I
fashion.
seen it. So, you know how they just make up make-believe stuff and put like potential rosters. I seen it was had Williams as a quarterback. They got DJ Moore. Is that the good receiver?
DJ Moore's
Yeah,
really good.
But they also had, I think Mike Evans is a free agent from Tampa Bay. Had him on there.
You could draft Harrison.
Well, no, they had Harrison.
9
they
maybe.
didn't have
Bowers.
Harrison. They had Bowers as their
Oh,
tight
okay.
end. Hey, sounds pretty good right there.
It sounds good. A lot of times when college guys get to the pros, they don't look near as good. So you never know.
I think that Bowers is pretty much a lock to be
I do
good.
too.
Big old fella.
Then again, we thought Kyle Pitts was, but I'm glad. That's another one. Arthur Smith fired, Falcons head coach.
Nobody cares about the Falcons.
Falcons.
He's wasted a lot of talent there in Atlanta.
They never had
Not
a quarterback. Most important part.
They've not, but when they
Matty
do,
Ice.
they never target
before.
their top
Yeah.
talents.
Oh, he didn't coach him?
I don't think
No,
Okay.
that was
Well, Sam is the king. He won the college football pick'em.
What's next on that?
Well, I
Hold
mean,
on.
we need to probably shut down our football
Well-
talk, at least for today. We'll do some playoff stuff.
I was about to say we did do a playoff thing last year.
Hey, let's do it.
We'll do it now or second half. Talk about some
Well, we're
basketball
on
first.
football
Might as
now,
well
so
do
we
it.
Might as well go for it.
All right. And I'm gonna pick this. I'm gonna pick the Super Bowl winner. I know it.
Already?
I know who's winning
You
the
got the
Super
script?
Bowl. I do not know the playoffs by heart. And see, okay, here's the bad thing. We have to do it week by week. Because football does the smartest thing. The NFL does the
Lowest
smartest
seed
thing.
against the one
They
seed.
wait.
Yeah.
They wait until a week is over with to see who won. And the best seeded team gets to play the lowest seeded team after the wild card is over. So let's make wild card picks.
That's super
Okay.
smart.
NFL, they get it right. It'd be like playing the first round of the NBA playoffs. 1 versus 8, 4 against 5, 3 against 6, 2 against 7. And then after the first round is over with, now you reseed everybody. So if a 7 knocks off a 2, then in that next round, 1 who just got done playing 8 would now play 7. I mean, I don't know if that's it. I'll tell you what it does. It
I like
it rewards people for having a good regular season.
That's true.
It'd keep people from sitting out, which they're trying
I like
to do that
that, yeah.
anyway. Because you got people like LeBron said, seeding don't matter, home court advantage don't matter, which I think that's a lie. I think it does.
It does.
But when they win their first 2 series last year, and they're the lower seeded team, they're going on the road winning playoff games. He's probably right to a certain extent. It's when you play them really good teams that home court matters.
I think the Warriors kind of disproved that
Somewhere
last year too
Draymond's
because they
back.
were.
He's what?
He's back.
He's back. He said Silver talked him out of retirement. You believe that?
No, not
He had $100 million, and he'd have been walking away from $75 million.
They told him he couldn't punch nobody no more. He said, "I'm out."
Well,
He
okay.
said, "I'm
He
out."
said him and Steve Kerr was in the yard crying. They're about to fix this thing, boys, and win them another.
I'm gonna say
Nope.
they will not.
I think Clay's washed, ain't he?
Clay's definitely washed, and so is Wiggins.
They're on him. They're on Kerr hard because he's so loyal to these older guys. But don't you about have to be?
You have to be.
I think
yeah.
who is it coming out? Kuminga and Who's the other one coming out saying they ain't getting enough minutes?
Moses Moody.
Who's Moses Moody? Okay, wild card weekend. We got AFC. Who we got?
They're talking
Browns and Texans.
Going to be traded for
You got names on that?
Pascal Siakam. What do you think about that, Coach?
Who?
Kaminga for Siakam.
I wouldn't do it. I like that Kaminga. I think you're stepping down by getting Siakam. I bet the money don't match either.
I don't know.
Somebody be taking a financial hit. Hey, normally it would be time to go to fourth period. Not today.
Also seen where they're saying with both of them struggling, might be time for old LeBron and Steph to team up at the end of the year.
And Draymond. They've always been good friends. All
I
right.
always forget that Chris Paul's with the Warriors now, too.
Yeah, he's broke his hand. He's out.
See where
He
John
was
Morant's out the
washed
rest
in,
of the
yeah.
year?
Yeah.
Played about 10 games.
I hate that.
Yeah. And he'll have to use that other hand to wave that gun around. He's having shoulder surgery. All right, Browns and Texans. Who else in the AFC?
The Dolphins and Chiefs.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize they played each other. All right, is that the only two?
Nope. Steelers at Bills.
That's right, they've gone to 7 teams now.
Mhm.
What about the NFC?
We've got Packers at Cowboys.
Uh-oh.
Rams at Lions.
Stafford returns to Detroit.
Oh, just wait, there's more. Eagles at Buccaneers. Not only is that one a return game, Tyreek Hill's going back to Kansas City for the first time. Mike McCarthy facing his old team in the playoffs.
Quick question.
And then this one he's not playing, but first game that the Texans play the Browns and Deshaun Watson's not involved, but that's his former team.
The way we
Got a
got
lot of
that
those.
set up, and I know I won, but do you think we're giving too many points to the championship game?
No,
Why?
especially if you call it early.
You'd have won it anyway.
Would I?
Yeah, you'd have
Okay.
won it anyway. I could go back and look, but I'm pretty certain that you
Yeah, I just
would've
didn't
won
want people to get punished for winning the most games.
Still, though, you got to call the big one.
it. Yeah, you got to call it a big one.
Okay.
Yeah, you were the only one that got the championship game right, so I feel like you'd have won it either way.
All right, I'm
because-
gonna put a Sam, S for Sam, T for Tyler, J for James. I'm just gonna put the letter by the team that you're picking.
Go for it.
All right, you want me to write it down? You're the host.
Yeah.
You want me to write it? You're
Yeah.
the boss. Okay. And it's kind of bad when you sit here and wait for the other two people to pick, because then you might pick opposite. But I'm gonna guarantee you guys up front, I'm not doing that. I'm going for my gut on every one of them, even if it's the same picks you all make.
So me go first?
Browns, Texans.
Texans.
That's what I put.
I think it's what we're all going to put.
SJT, all on the Texans.
Now they're playing with house money.
I just feel like Caleb Williams. He don't play for them. Who is it? Stroud?
Stroud.
CJ Stroud. I know it's some young quarterback, but I just keep hearing about him all the time. I ain't really seen him play all year. But the Browns, didn't they lose Watson? Who's even throwing?
They
Joe
got
Flacco.
Oh, I'm not switching.
Joe Flacco.
Flacco, no.
I don't
He's been
know.
balling. He's been
Have
balling.
you seen him? He's played 4
You
games.
want to switch it, boys?
I don't want to switch it. I'm going to roll with the Texans, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
Flacco's back.
Dolphins, Chiefs.
Hold on. We moved on. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay, you want to switch to the Browns?
Yeah.
Sam's-
Well, no, because that'd be doing what you guys said.
No,
switching
it
at the
ain't.
end.
It's your gut.
If you get convinced because of different personnel on the team, I feel like you can switch it. Now, if you're going to switch it just because
It's like that time I stole Giannis from you. Because I hadn't thought of him.
Yeah.
No, wait, I want him. You want to switch
Give me
it?
Flacco. I'll take Flacco. I like
right.
Joe. Their
Dolphins,
defense
Chiefs,
good.
I've already wrote mine down. You can't convince me otherwise.
I'm going
Really?
Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs too.
Go for it, boys.
I don't know if you can.
I'm a Dolphins guy now. Just for the playoffs.
I think the weather's going to play a factor in that game.
Okay.
The Dolphins will beat one team over
Too
500
much
this
drama. I'm tired of hearing about this stupid Kelsey and just end it now.
year. They'll win one game and then
End it now.
You know what's
Put
going to
out.
be bad? Is they're going to be in the Super Bowl because they're great.
And she'll probably do the halftime show.
Yeah.
she turned it down.
Why?
Of
Because
course
she's
she
going to be
did.
in the box watching.
Of course.
I don't know, but she turned it down this year. Or last year when Rihanna did it, she turned it down.
Of course she did.
Okay, whoever, whatever. Let's not even mention that name on our show. All right, Steelers, Bills. I know who I'm picking.
think we're all going there.
Bills.
Riding the Josh Allen train.
So you got the Browns by yourself. I've got the Dolphins by myself. And then we've all got all right, NFC. Packers, Cowboys.
I don't know if you could beat the Cowboys in AT&T.
Well, they've been a playoff flop lately, but I've got a feeling this is the year.
I'm going Cowboys.
Watch the Packers win, make us all look like fools. Hey, now here's a good pick here. Rams and Lions.
I'm going Rams.
Lions have been folding a little bit here lately.
Their
Rams been
defense,
surging.
man.
I'm trying to factor in the whole Stafford thing because he left and everybody was like happy for him. Even the Detroit people are happy for him because he got to go win because he'd stayed there for so long and tried and they just couldn't do it. Don't you find it weird that after he left and they basically got the Rams left over with Goff that here they are playing in the playoffs? I mean, that's big time. That's a huge storyline, and I can't decide who I want to win.
I don't know if the Lions' defense can hold up.
I'm going Rams. I think he's the better quarterback. I like that what's his
Cup
name?
playing?
Campbell.
Yeah.
Cup's back.
Puka, he's back, or he's been back.
Aaron Donald, everybody's healthy.
Kyron
Well
Williams.
coached too, I think.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Hendon Hooker play for the Lions?
He does.
Lions it is. What you got, Tyler?
I'll roll with the Lions.
Woo!
Sam's on his own on a couple of these.
That was good.
Eagles, Tampa Bay. Everybody's saying the Eagles have lost it. They've lost it. Not me.
Get one. I think they get one.
I think they get 1, too.
All right, you
I
want to
think
keep
all
that?
three may be right. Hey, I think we should have to pick the champion today.
I think the Chiefs and the Eagles are the ones that get 1 and then they get put out in the second round.
Super Bowl pick.
All right.
Now, who's
You wanna do the-
We got the Ravens out, right? They're not playing this week, and who's the
San
NFC?
Fran.
Do you want to do the piece of paper so we're not just calling it? So we got to come up with our own. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Let's do it like that.
Just you need a pen, write an initial or
let's
something,
just-
just write something on
yeah.
your skin. Or here's a post-it note. And we're going to reveal it to the camera. I'll get you a pencil, boys, right here. Look, I got everything you need. Hey, you want to pick the game, like the two teams playing,
Sure.
and then the winner?
Yep. Just call yours out. See, we can't really change it now.
San Francisco's my champion, and they're going to beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The Dolphins, you're on that train, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll explain one of these days.
I want you to explain now. I want to hear it.
Well, who's your all's pick while I'm looking for
Okay.
these?
All right. I got Ravens versus 49ers. Ravens winning.
Wait a minute, let me put
Gosh.
It's
San
chalk.
Francisco
It's chalk.
versus Miami, and I'm gonna circle San Francisco. Who'd you have?
San Francisco and Baltimore with Baltimore winning.
Isn't that the Harbaugh Bowl?
I think both Harbaughs get it this year.
But isn't that who
That
played
was,
before
yeah.
when they coached against each
Mhm.
other in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl? All right, Sam, who you got?
I did Ravens versus Cowboys. Ravens winning.
All right, keep that.
The Cowboys was the one team that I was debating on maybe beating San Francisco, but
I don't
San
think.
Francisco's tough at home.
I don't think San Francisco's gonna get there.
I like them not to.
I like that old Brock Purdy.
So we had 3 games last week. You talked about how you had, how many was it, 8 and 12 days?
Yes.
You had 3 last week, fared pretty well. Had Chucky Doke to start the week out, then followed that up with University High and West Green. Ended up sweeping all 3. I think you improved your record to, what is it, 14 and 6 now?
No, it's not, Tyler.
What is it?
We're 15-6.
15 and 6. I was cutting you one short. I'm so sorry.
I think.
Man.
Take me through the week. Picked up 3 more wins to start 2024. Talk me through it.
What we talking about last week?
Yeah.
3 games. First one was
Check it out.
Chucky Doe. Let's consult my associate here. Sometimes I forget. I leave stuff out. It's a big win for us there in the county. Coming off where we had just played them really 2 times previously. I made a comment that I don't know if they understood it or not. When we played them there the last time, somebody, I think it was Mark Brooks, was he at that game? Did Mark do that game?
Which one? The one before?
The last one here that we played them here, just here at North Green the other day.
Can't remember. I know he did the West Green one.
I think whoever asked me, I told him after the game it felt like the NBA playoffs. Because you play the same person so many times right there, you know. And,
I think we said 3 in 18 days.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not extreme. It's not exactly like the NBA playoffs, but that's what it felt like as a series. And, you know, you make adjustments in those series, and they always talk about them coaches about what are their adjustments going to be. Well, when you play somebody that many times in a short span, you really get to focus on them, I guess. So, I don't know. We had a big night again out of Haley and Hannah, 22-20. But, you know, I thought it was Mercy's big 9 in the second half, all 9 in the second half, when everybody and their mama is starting to load up on our post players. I mean, we're seeing zones, we're seeing double team schemes. Sometimes you look up and I think either they're trying to triple team or maybe some kid forgot and they went when they wasn't supposed to. But, I mean, everybody is just loading up the paint on our 2 post players. So when you look up and you see, you know, Ella getting a big 6 or Mercy getting a big 9, some people might look at that and say, well, that's not that big a deal. That's a real big deal, especially if you got games that are lower scoring, you know. So we were thrilled to get that win. Defensively, you know, I think we held them down there in the 40s. That's where we like to be, 40s, 30s on our opponents. So I think they've got a good team. I think they're going to get better as the season goes. I think they can make a push there in the District 2A. So we wish them the best moving forward. We were tickled though with that win, and then we had the big conference game against UH, and they had a young lady that went off there for 8 points in the second half and 14 overall. You know, so. And we had gone to a little zone defense, and she found some holes and gaps in it. So we got to fix that before we play them again. But I thought we got out to a great start. It says here we were up 24-6 at the end of the first quarter. And then at halftime, we were up 39-10. You know, so we just jumped on them early. He does have some players out. He had a girl tear ACL last year, and she's still working to get back. It's been a long recovery for her, but she's probably their strongest player, best athlete. If they get her back, they also had a starter missing that night who had gone to a church camp, and she's a pretty good shooter, adds a little offense to their lineup. So I'm sure it's going to be different. It's going to be difficult when we go up there to Brooks in the return game, but, you know, conference home game, Sam will tell you this, you about got to hold serve at home if you want to have a chance to win the league. So we were happy with that game. We got everybody in the book. Everybody scored that night. Veronica, who, by the way, is celebrating her birthday today, Veronica Abrosikoff, a freshman for us, just a very pleasant young lady. She got a few shots there at the end of the game. She finally nailed one. I thought the roof was going to come off the Husky den. Everybody was excited for her. And, you know, we had Ella with 17, led us, and she's had some big games this year. As just a sophomore, she's really stepped up and played great. Young player, but still just and getting better. It seems like every game she's getting better. She gives us a little bit of a different style on how you score your points. I mean, we may pound it inside. We may get to the free throw line. We may have Haley going off the dribble, but it's good that we have another player that is attacking the rim. So it's good to see her. And Mercy hit double figures in that game as well with 11. Haley had 16. Like I said, everybody got in the book, so that was a big win for us. And then finally there on Saturday with West Green, we only had 4 people score. Mercy hit a big 3 there in the second half when, again, you got the whole world collapsing on the paint. But, like I said about Ella, here she was with 13 big points, reaching double figures in a game where they're really emphasizing, stopping us inside. And we had told Haley and Hannah when they have the ball out high and we're trying to maybe do some high-low stuff, their man's just backing off of them. And those girls put in the same amount of work as everybody else on our team as far as getting up shots throughout the week. And I think they shoot it well. I've said this, Hannah, I think, has as good a shot, shoots it as good from the outside. If we do these drills and you count up makes and all that, I mean, she's always in the top 3 or so in every drill that we do. So we've actually encouraged her to do that more. And the way they were designing their defense there against us in the previous game that we played them, we thought, well, if they back off of you, just shoot one. But it's good to give kids the green light when you feel like you got a good chance to go get the rebound. Because we got kids that Heidi Harmon hits the offensive glass hard.
Smallest
player on the floor, but man, she'll go in there and just and really scrap around there and get us some extra possessions that way. And that kind of stuff, a lot of people don't really, I guess, hear a lot about it. You may only get 3 of those a game, but that's big. Mm-hmm. You get 3 offensive rebounds from the guard position, give yourself another chance to score. So, Haley had 21, Hannah 17, Ella 13. But, we had all kinds of people contributing to that big 54-38 win. So that's me last week.
Take the floor.
On to me. Chucky Dope was the first one. I guess that was Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I felt like the first time we really had a good plan. We were just kind of short-handed. We didn't have Lance. Tyler had been sick. So it was good to get in here and try to play him again. And, man, we executed exactly what we were trying to do for 3 quarters. Really, the first half, I told him I don't think other than there was a big – Coach will know this, and, I don't think people – the normal fan, recognize this. There was a big turn in that game, and it was the last 2 minutes of the first half. We had really controlled the game, done everything we wanted to do, and we had a couple turnovers, and the lead went from 12 to 6 going into halftime. And what that does is Chucky Dope, I'm sure they felt like they didn't play well in the first half, and when you got a team that feels like they don't play well, but then they look up at halftime and they're still right there, that gives them a little confidence. So the start of the third quarter, like I said, we were up 6, and it got to tied really quick. They continued that run. And then it was just a back-and-forth game. We were able to, I think we pushed it up one other time to 6 points, or 5 points starting the fourth. And in the fourth quarter, the things that we were working on, we also tied them rebound. It was a big rebound discrepancy that first time, 48-32. At halftime, and I can show you the stats here, at halftime we were tied with them and rebounded. Well, they out-rebounded us 11 the second half. And part of that is, Derry, he wears you down as the game goes along. In the first half, we were keeping him pushed out. His little turnarounds, we were keeping him 12, 13 feet on those little turnarounds. And in the fourth quarter, he started catching it in the paint. When he catches in the paint, not one thing you can do. We started the fourth quarter out with two turnovers, kind of costly turnovers. But you look up and I guess it was still 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. We're still right there. And same thing, it's killing us. I hate to beat a dead horse, but man, it's some toughness plays. I don't know, Coach, you remember this play? There was an inbounds play, they threw it in, Treadway shot a layup, and it comes off, and it hits 2 of our guys' hands. Two of our guys' hands, and then Karam's back to Treadway, and he shoots a layup. That's a game-changing play.
What was the play? There was another play. Seems like it hit our hands.
Okay.
They end up getting it and get a 3-point play out.
Okay, I'll move on to that was the first one. So we went, at that time when Treadway missed that shot and we were supposed to get the rebound, we were down 1. Okay? We come back down. That makes it 3. We come back down, and we score. They score again. We come back down and miss a 3. Now, the same type of rebound on our end, their kid goes up and gets it two-handed. They come back down the floor. They're up 3 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. We turn them over. Well, when we get the turnover, I think Lance stole the ball. And when he stole it, Mervin comes up behind him and
back to it.
No, for lack of better, just takes it from him. And when he takes it from him, he throws it out to Rush, and Rush drives in here and gets a and 1 scoop shot, and it goes from 3 to 6, and that's game. And it's, this stuff we got to do better. And I told him I was proud of him because I think we're getting better. I really do. I think we're getting better. We played great for 3 quarters, but you just got to finish. And I've been preaching it all year. The toughness and the rebounding and the defensive stops. Coach knows the same stuff he's bragging on his team about for being so good at it, we're missing that right now, and that's my fault. We got to find a way to get better at it, and I think we are. But against good teams, if you want to finish, you got to make those 50-50 plays down the stretch instead of the other team. And Chucky Doak made them. Credit to them; they're a good team. But we end up a few plays short. So I don't know. Then we move on to University High, and this is gonna sound weird coming out of my mouth. I don't know if we lost, but I don't know if we played a better game all year. I mean, I was proud of them for they competed. I think we jumped out 8-3, and then University High goes on a 15-0 run. So I think it's 18-8, and then we come back and tied it. And man, that game really it reminded me of some heavyweight bouts I've been in kind of in the past where the other team's just taking the other team's best shot. Man, Murphy for them, you talk about a first half. I think he had 18 points in the first half, and he's coming down making, just tough shots. But we come down and answer him. Jason had 24 in the first half for us, and then you go back and forth. It's tied 42 at halftime. It's tied, I think it was at 64 at the end of the third, and just like against Chucky Doak, the first two possessions of the fourth quarter, we had turnovers. So we got to do a better job about taking care of the ball late. Because the possessions are kind of magnified.
It wasn't like them stealing a pass.
No.
It was like a travel.
Yeah.
It's stuff that's unforced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we just got to get better at that. I think the Chucky Doak ones were two travels, and then against University High, they jumped zone. We run a little lob play, and it's wide open. We just, missed a pass a little high. That's something we gotta learn. It don't always have to be a dunk. We'll take the layup. So, but anyway, we're learning and growing. We got down, which is where you don't want to be against them. We got down, I think, as many as 7 in the fourth quarter. And man, one thing I'll say about my kid, they fight, scratch, and claw, and they gave themselves really a chance at the end. I like to change it where we got a shot off. I didn't have any timeouts. I got to do a better job of having them prepared without timeouts as far as what they're going to do when it gets late like that. We ran a play actually out of a timeout. It's kind of our go-to play in situations like that where we got to go full length of the court. And we got a bucket out of Tyler Britton hit a huge three and got us in striking distance. And I didn't have any timeouts, and I told them, hey, we're going to do the same play right here. And we panicked. The wrong guy threw in the ball, then it kind of got us scrambled. So I got to do a better job of having them prepared at the end there. But I can't say enough about how they competed. We were out there against one of the better teams in single A, I think. So one thing we got to do better is guard the 3-point line. They were 16 out of 30. It's hard to lose when you shoot that high, the percentage. So. But I think it showed us we can play with anybody. If we play well, we're right there with anybody. So we'll get another shot at them, maybe 2 or 3 more. And I think we'll be ready for that. As far as Saturday, man, it is so hard when you have Coach will know, like 2 rivalry games like that, to come in and do a third one at the.
UH experienced the same thing you did.
Yeah.
Because they beat Chucky Doak, I think, handily early in the year.
They beat them by 20 and lost.
When I talked to Herman after your game was over, he was so concerned about how emotional that game was. How are we going to come right back?
Because it was a heavyweight. Yeah. We was throwing punches back and forth, and that does drain you. I think 2 nights later it had us drained still because just our energy and effort wasn't the same against West Green. And man, they had a good plan. I read in the paper where he said he had been preparing for that run and jump and all that stuff we tried to do to them since Monday, and I thought they did a great job. I thought they did a great job with it. They took care of the ball and they shot it well. I'll show you something. What am I always preaching on here? This defense and this rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I thought we were turning the corner on that. It says offensive rebounds for West Green the other night. Look how many they got.
16.
You want to know why the team's in the game? there you go. I mean, you can't do that, and it just happens to us too much. And I don't know. I'm at a kind of a loss about how to fix it because I mean we come in here every single day and talk about it and emphasize it and drill it, and I don't know. It just hasn't got any better. But that's on me to get it better. We're gonna keep working on it. But I mean, West Green out-rebounded us 37-26 and had 16 offensive rebounds. So there you go. That's why they're in the game. I don't know, but we came out with a win. Gutsy win.
I was about to say, that's a much-needed win.
Yeah, much-needed win. Gutsy win when we were down 9, I think, at one point in the fourth quarter. Like I said, I'm proud of them for fighting, scratch, and claw, and man, they have been. I'm also proud of them as far as offensively. I think we're playing well offensively. Bennett's really started to come out of his shells or his little shooting slump that he was in there the first half of the year. I think hit 4 threes against West Green, hit 4 threes against University High, hit 3 threes against Chucky. Really he's shooting it well. Man, we got other players scoring. I think Sam had double figures against West Green, Lawson. Lance went on a stretch there. I think like 7 out of 8 games he was double. So our offense is starting to be what we thought it was going to be. Tyler made some big shots against University High. Made a couple big free throws against West. Our offense is there. I think we're up now, Coach, averaging somewhere around 66 points a game, which is.
It's good enough to win high school basketball games.
Yeah. And
with just a little bit of defense and rebound.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We're going to keep emphasizing it. Don't get no easier tonight against Southern East. So, I don't know.
We're going to preview this week now, or we got to take a break?
We got to take a break. You had some fun at home. Now you got to go on the road. 4 straight games on the road. Who did that?
That idiot athletic director. I'm so sick of him. I wish they'd fire him.
Well, we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back to discuss those games in just a moment here on Grassroots Media.
Baileyton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Baileyton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Baileyton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
My name is Robert Starnes. I'm a lifelong resident of Northern Greene County, where I currently reside here with my wife and 3 children. I was in Barber in Greenville for the last 6 years, but I have recently changed locations to my new shop in Baileyton. It's at 285 Mortis Hollow Lane, Afton. I'm also a proud supporter of North Greene Athletics. Come see me for all of your men and boys grooming needs. Go Huskies!
Welcome back to Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company TMB show presented by Starne's Barbershop, where we cover everything on the court with the North Greene Huskies and Lady Huskies basketball teams. As always, joined here with Lady Huskies head coach James Buchanan and Huskies head coach Sam Tarleton. Going on the road now.
We're putting on our spiked shoulder pads. I'm going to shave my head into a mohawk.
Face paint.
Because we're the road warriors.
Did you see, he got beat by Northwestern?
No, I didn't see it.
And then he gave there's like a big divide. Okay, you got the new the new style coaches, and you got the
Izzo's and Barnes.
yeah the old style. And he gave a smart aleck interview, and they're ripping him. He's I don't know, his players just got, I mean, out tough, you know.
Yeah.
They out rebounded.
Got punked.
They got punked, and they was getting on him because his teams used to do that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was him.
He was the go-to. If
Yeah.
you want a clinic speaker,
Yeah.
or if you're a guy, I need some rebounding drills.
Yeah.
You go to Izzo.
Him, and man, you could tell it just killed him that his team is not that right now, and he was getting on the analytics. He said sometimes the analytics are out the window. You just got to go do it, man. For man, they were killing him, and he said, man, I love. Is that Chris Collins?
From Northwestern?
Yeah. He said, I love him, man. His team is doing exactly what you got to do to win. So they're getting on him for that, for complimenting another guy. And then he was like, but it's my fault. This is where he's getting sarcastic. He said, it's my fault because you can't hold players accountable today. It ain't their fault. Remember, this is all on me. He said, I forgot how to rebound, you know.
Yeah.
So it's on me.
Forgot how to teach it.
He said, and then he did a real smart other thing. He said, you know those drills they used to, you know, brag on me for? He said, we might get out the football pads again Monday. Oh, wait, I'll get sued. But that's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was, and they were, part of them was like ripping him, and part of them was, I don't know.
Well, you've got a
It's
few guys.
Big divide.
A few guys that's won like he's won,
Mm-hmm.
and he can survive an interview like that. Some young guy
Yeah.
out.
I don't know, like, I don't know. But he was being like,
You know what I thought of? I thought of
sarcastic.
this last night. And I'm gonna probably get hammered.
Be careful.
I'm gonna try to be careful.
Be careful.
It doesn't matter to me. Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying it doesn't matter to me. Used to, I had to go to Walmart last night. Mercy needed some things for school. You know, like notebooks or whatever these kids need for school
Binders.
these days. Yeah. So we're going through Walmart. I'm pushing the buggy. Now, my wife and my other daughter were at this youth revival, but it started at 6. We didn't get out of practice till 6:30. So my wife gives me the job of going to Walmart. Normally she goes because she says I spend too much. I find things that we don't really need. But I see them and I'm like, yeah, we got it. I mean, that's a must. Anyway, I went in there. She had to have 5 things. We went to get 5. We're in and out. That's how I do my shopping, in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going around through there and I see a dog. I got no problem with the dog being at Walmart. Used to, the only time you'd see a dog at Walmart, though, is if it was like leading a blind person.
Yeah, service dog.
Yeah.
Service animal. Emotional support
And
animals.
now, you know how people used to be able to say, no pets allowed. Now you're not allowed to say that. And I've got no opinion either way. I could care less. Nobody wants my dog at Walmart. I'm telling you, my dog's crazy. It'd chew up everybody's groceries. But I just think that society has switched. I mean, and it's a big shift. In like the last, I think really it's all been post-COVID,
Yeah.
but it was kind of building up. But like right now, it's anything goes. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say, and nobody can like challenge you for it. Like Izzo, why is he having to tiptoe? I mean, the whole dog thing, that's just, I just saw a dog last night. I thought, well, I remember when I was growing up, you wouldn't have a dog in Walmart. It plainly says on the door, no pets allowed. So, I mean, but it's just the world we live in now.
Well, they're on him saying he needs to retire, you know, it's passed him by. I mean, he's one of the best that's ever.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I was in Walmart recently. I don't remember how recently, but it's been within the last year. Somebody had a bearded lizard in their buggy.
See?
Somebody brought. It wasn't a dog, wasn't a cat. It was
You
a
know,
bearded
when I was
lizard.
growing up, you know why you didn't do that? Number one, it was on the door. You don't bring pets in.
Yeah.
And number two, it might tear up somebody's kid. I mean, you. In other words, when I was growing up, it was you're thinking of other people.
Yeah, it could cause a problem.
Here's why you don't do that. It's because of other people. And that's out the door now. It don't matter about other people. It's all about you. What do you want? How do you need life to be? And I think that's bad. I'll just say that. And that is my opinion. I think that's bad when you forget others. That's just what I've got to say about that. So you'll probably get all kinds of
We're gonna get
comments.
canceled.
We're gonna
get canceled.
Switch it up. Let's go to basketball.
You know how to get real joy, right? Joy. And to say joy is different than happiness. Because circumstances dictate happiness. I can have, like somebody drops a weight on my toe. And I'm in the corner somewhere crying like a baby.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. But even though I'm over there in pain, I can still have joy. Because that's something nobody can take away. You've heard of people suffering through tragedies, but yet they've got a smile on their face. And it's such an example to other people when this is going on. And that's because you can't rob somebody of their joy. So here's how joy. Take that 3-letter word. If you put Jesus first and others second and yourself last, then you can have true joy that nobody can take. And that we got that flipped around now to where it's like what is it? Yodge. If you take joy and spell it backwards.
Yoj.
Y-O-J.
Yeah.
Yoj. Yog. We've got yoga. See, yoga's wrong.
I don't know where we're leading onto this. That first part was really good. The joy part was good. You flipped it around. I don't know where we were going.
Anyway, people, let's do better about others. Let's think of other people. You can take your dog to Walmart. Just maybe if you see a small child that looks like it's scared all of a sudden, maybe go down another aisle. Start thinking about each other again.
I try to stay out of the Walmart.
By the way, I'm announcing my
Don't blame me.
run. I'm beginning a campaign. I'm running for public office. President of the United States. You just want to write in on the ballot. When you go to the ballot box this November, just write my name in. We'll see how many.
I wonder how many times that happens. Does that you think they do that?
Happy.
I'd say it happens all the time.
Not my name, but
But
they'll
just anybody's name.
they'll write this.
Now that you have the little box.
If I
now.
could-
That's actually kind of hard to do now with the push button stuff. How do you write in a name?
Is there an other
I
button?
think you have to type it in.
If I could pick one other man, I know who I'd pick.
Who's that?
James Buchanan.
Remember Randy used to help me coach?
Absolutely.
Randy's met his reward. He's made it home. I used to tell people, if the whole world thought as much of me as Randy Bailey did, I could be president in a landslide. Look, I still got Randy's picture here on my desk. Look here, somebody's coming in. Come on in. Come on. Calvin. Let's hear it for Calvin. Come on, Calvin.
No, for the, we had drain stopped at
What key
the girls'
for?
locker room.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. But there it is. Come on in, Calvin. You want to be on TV?
Next week.
Next
Cal.
week, Calvin. We
We're
have
getting
surprise.
everybody who is.
Did we have any feedback from where we had Mr. Sweeney?
We didn't, but I got to tell you something. First year we did this, you had a views battle. Last year, you wiped everybody clean. This year, you got some new competition.
All right.
Terry Hosey's catching up with you.
Terry.
Terry's breaking the 300 mark and getting up there with you guys now.
Oh, good. That's good.
Good for Terry.
Good job, Terry. What about Sean? Apparently,
We ain't even.
I have messed this up bad.
Anymore, though.
Sean told me back during volleyball season. I went to a volleyball game at South Green, and Sean come and sit beside me, and he said, "Did you see my show?" And I said, "Man, I don't see my own show. I don't have no whatever y'all watch this stuff on." And he was telling me that he issued this challenge, and he said that he had like Joe Case came in, and maybe Derek Dyer.
Roll the clip.
Hey, we're coming at Hone and Sauce, man. We gotta amp it up a little bit. We gotta get out there for Buchanan and them. We're gonna hype it up. We got another nomination this year. Come on, now.
Was it
I
a
think they
wrestling
said
match?
they were maybe coming for your views. I don't know.
Oh, well,
coming for your numbers.
Bring it on.
Can't remember.
I'll tell you what we need to do, and I want this put on the record. We need to have the School of Morton, Ricky Morton, WWE Hall of Famer, who has a local training gym, has a ring set up.
The best tag team coaches.
I mean, I've been in the ring with this man. I have
We
tagged.
discussed that last week.
I have tagged with a Hall of Famer. So I think we need to set the ring up. Be a nice little fundraiser.
We should do it next
Maybe this
football
spring.
season.
This spring, because they'll be busy during football.
I'm gonna have to get in the weight room. I've lost that. I've gone down.
So set the ring up at South Green. They'll have some, they'll have a good little card. They'll have some of these local guys that's been working hard to climb the ladder amongst the professional wrestlers. But I think like main event, whoever you want. And then we'll do it out here. We'll try to find a date where we do it out here.
I'd pay money. I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, just steel chairs. We'll have a street fight.
Can you edit?
No,
No, don't say nothing. Just don't. Yeah. There's a good chance I might forget.
I know what you're thinking, so don't say it. But
If there's anything, I'm liable to forget. So don't.
I'd pay good money.
This ain't getting edited down.
Never mind.
But yeah, we should have a wrestling match.
Should.
And then have a return match.
Home and away.
Home and away.
Call it my home and away.
That way we both have a chance to make some money.
So
There's our challenge.
Sullivan East tonight.
Yeah. Hey, we got our work cut out for us. Listen to this. This is the honest truth. You want me to hit this one and Cloudland?
Back to back, hit them.
All right. Works out pretty good that we play these two teams this week.
I can preview the Cloudland for you. It needs a preview. I've seen it.
Yeah, nine times last 2 years.
These two teams are similar offensively. There are some differences defensively. But offensively, they'll try to spread you out. They have a capable scorer inside, but they have a lot of movement on the perimeter. They have kids that'll attack the basket. They love to kick it and shoot it. So we're going to have to guard both games in a similar fashion. You got to contain penetration. You got to reach shooters. At the same time, if you're having to help on a driver, you've got to make sure you're covering down on the kid that's down there in the cleanup spot. So just very similar as far as the offenses are concerned. Defensively, Sullivan East is going to play a little 1-3-1 zone. They're going to diamond in one press, and they will play some man. I've seen some 2-3 and some 3-2 out of them. But with Cloudland, it's primarily going to be your 2-2-1 press back in a man. They've done some 2-3 in the past. I've not seen it yet this year. I've really not studied much on them yet. I've got several films ready to queue up, but we've been trying to focus on Sullivan East for tonight. And I think when people look at their record, they're like 2-12. But listen, they've played West Ridge twice. They've played Boone twice. They've played Dobbins Bennett. They've played Knox Bearden. They played some Virginia schools I'm not very familiar with in their holiday tournament. But I think, they've got a very tough schedule. They're in a conference with Elizabethton, who just beat them on Friday. They're in that same conference with Tennessee High, who's much improved, Unicoi County, David Crockett. So they have a very difficult schedule. And I think if you take that same Sullivan East team that's in 3A and you move them to 1A and they play in our league, they can beat any of us. They've got a foreign exchange student who I think maybe is their best playmaker. They've got capable shooters around her, a steady point guard, and a good post player. I've just noticed them playing about 7 kids on the films that I've seen. So I don't know about their depth, but we aren't very deep ourselves. So I think we got our work cut out for us on the road. Throw those records out. If we get beat, people will say, "How'd you lose to a 2-12 team?" I say, "Well, watch the film, because this is not your typical 2-12 team." I'm telling you that right now. I've tried to make our kids aware of that. We're going to have to play well if we're going to win on the road tonight. Same thing on Friday, and we know how big that game is. I think UNACA and University High are both improving, and they are both very well coached. So they're going to be way difficult to beat come district tournament time, But I think right now people have probably looked at Cloudland and the fact that they're undefeated on the year, haven't lost a single game all year. They're probably looking at them as the top team, and we're probably somewhere behind them in most people's eyes. So we've got a road game against the top team in our league. So I'm looking forward to that, just to kind of see how we measure up. And we've had so many battles with them through the years, and like Sam alluded to, so many of those games it seems like they end up being the same game over and over and over again, just hard for both teams to score. Very
It's
intense games.
Two of the best that there are in my eyes coaching. I think both of them do good. I mean, there's good ones all around. Don't get me wrong, but both of them are good. Just watching it as a coach, like you can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, those games, and they're slow enough to where, and I'm not saying both teams play slow, but it's just I think both teams are fairly patient, and they're not willing to just take any shot. They want a good shot. So when you see grinding possessions, you can kind of see exactly what he's told his kids to be doing to limit our strengths, and hopefully, I'm sure Sam, people that maybe around at our practices know what we're at least trying to do, and you can see it play out. It's like a chess match. It always is. So big week.
I'll be there.
All right, you're going to the mountain.
I am.
What if it snows, Tyler? It always snows when we go to Cloudland, seems like.
I guess I'll chug it in 4-wheel drive.
That one year the heat was broke.
Oh, no.
I got so many stories about going up there. That one year, we had an assistant boys coach, don't even work here no more. But he volunteered. This is funny. It's snowing to beat 40. And we come out of that gym, and it's like a blanket has been thrown out on the ground. There was this lady and her mother. So it was like a grandparent and a parent to one of our boys' players.
Okay.
And they had driven to the game in perfectly dry weather, and they come outside, and there's all this snow, and they're like, we can't drive in this. So that assistant coach, I'll drive your car down the mountain for you. It was super nice. So he follows our bus, and we go to McDonald's there in Elizabeth, and he made it all the way off the mountain. No problem. But he turns into the McDonald's parking lot, and it's this huge pothole. And just bursts the tire. So there's like 4 or 5 of us out here, and it's snowing, and it's cold, and there's 4 or 5 of us out there changing this poor tire for these ladies. And, kind of a funny story. Until like a week later, he gets slapped with the bill. And they didn't just get a new tire, they got it lined up. and he had told him, he said, now if there's any damages, So he did a nice thing and drove him off that mountain, and then they slapped him with that bill. Oh my gosh, we made so much fun of him for that. But I've got more. There are more stories. I could talk for hours on visits to Roan Mountain.
You've made plenty of them in your time.
Can you believe that? Been up there 24 times after we go Friday. That's a quarter of a century almost. Sam, take it away.
Southern East, like Coach alluded to, I think they're 6-8, but that don't tell the story on their year. They played.
Got one of the better scores throughout the area.
Yeah. Well, they actually got. They did that Northeast Tennessee list. Mm-hmm. They got 3 guys that average in double figures, and one guy that averages a double. So they have good players. Like I said, they're 6-8. They played in their tournament that they do at Thanksgiving. They got really good teams in that tournament. They played Bearden. I noticed, and then they're in the Arby's Classic, and the talent level at that tournament. And then in their league, they got Unicoi, Crockett, Tennessee High, Elizabethan. So I mean, it's just a tough league, and I think they play some in 4A schools as well. So, I mean, they're battle tested. They're gonna want to get us this year because we played 2 really tight games with them last year. Really, 2 of the better games we played all year last year were against Southern East, and we're able to come out ahead in both of those. So it's gonna be a tough test for us.
Both of those were very memorable last year. One ended here with a buzzer beater from Jason, and then Jason scored, I think, 40 with close to the school record for threes up there in the Dyer Dome last year.
So, I forgot to mention that against West Green the other night, he eclipsed 2,500. So that's if you're keeping up with his timetable, there's another, I guess, check on the box. But no, they're good. They're big. They got like I said, their post player. I think he's averaging 15 and 11 or something like that. The Fisher kids, their point guard, probably 6'4", 6'5", big and strong. They got a kid, the Cross, is averaging double figures. There's a kid that didn't play last year that played baseball, Johnson. He's 6'4". We're gonna have to rebound if we want a chance to win. They play extended 2-3, make it tough on you. I don't know. Just another. I've told my bunch this. I just looking back so far. Quality teams wise, we played 5 quality teams within 2 points this year and lost. We have to. I'd like to see us get one of them, so we have another opportunity to do that tonight.
And then you got Cloudland coming up on Friday too. You got to make that trip up there. Be your second conference game of the season. How important is that one to get that one? Not only losing the first one, but with it being on the road.
Very important. Anytime, and Coach knows, anytime you go to Cloudland, you go to Carter County, Unaka, Hampton, any of those, man, it's tough. No matter, like I said, I told Mark, I think in a county game you can throw the records out the window a lot of times. In these conference games on the road, you can throw that record out the window. It's going to be tough. We know that. We're trying, our goal right now is to get through this first cycle of conference games and to get back to UH with a chance to tie it. So that's our goal, our short-term goal right now. So we've got to go to Cloudland and to Unaka to do that. So next couple weeks we'll tell the story on that.
You're the road warriors here at the moment, correct? You got how many? 4?
Yeah.
Sullivan East, Cloudland, Cosby, Unaka. You got 1 at home with Hancock County and then 2 away again. Oh, no, is
That's
it just
6
1?
out of 7 on the road?
Just 1. The Cedar View is just a JV game.
Right.
So 5 out of your next 6 games are on the road. And then you finish the season with 4 straight at home, though, luckily.
Yeah.
And then
It all balances out.
It does. And then you move into the district and regional tournaments at Daniel
We picked
Boone
a
and
home
Walter
stretch
State.
here,
Is that
ain't we?
correct?
Oh, gosh.
No,
Did it get changed?
we don't even know, man, where we're going to be playing these games. And we may need to save that for next week. We've tortured these people long enough. They've sit here and listened to us go on about
You got to cover this, Coach. On here you cover it.
All right. Last spring, I sent out a text to the principal and the athletic director, Daniel Boone. Hey, you guys do a good job hosting our tournaments. We appreciate that. Would you be willing to host us again next year? District and region. No, it wasn't region. It ain't our turn. I must have just said district. And, got word back from Daniel Boone High School that they would do that. So I put it on the schedule. I'd notified all of our other coaches because they were all fine with Boone. I mean, that's what we've handed out to people all year. So we're playing in the Ladies Classic, and Boone's there as well, and I see some of their...
Coach must have beat them, made them mad.
Nah, this was like the day before we even played them. So I see some folks from their staff there, and said, so we're still good to go, everything on the district, right? And they gave me one of those looks like, we're hosting the 2A. So that would be your Hampton, Happy Valley, Johnson County, South Green, West Green, Chucky Doe. So they've got more schools, so they'll have more games.
Wouldn't be able to fit that in.
Those are larger schools, so I'm assuming, just thinking about the schools that are involved there and their proximity to Daniel Boone, they probably stand to make a little more money on the 2A than they do the 1A. So if you're going to host a tournament, why not make more money? And I get it. We're not mad about that, but it did kind of, the lack of communication and the failure to figure all this out before January, that's been the frustrating part. So now we're in scramble mode. Happy Valley has volunteered to host us in the district, and so has Tennessee High. We contacted other schools. Some of them, like Unicoi County, they're hosting their own. They're hosting the 3A. West Ridge, who did a great job for us last year, they're hosting the 4A. So we've reached out to others that will remain nameless. But anyway, we're kind of stuck right now. We're going to have a meeting later this week to try to, vote and decide where we're going to have it. And then the regional tournament. You talk about a mess.
Curveball.
It was originally scheduled as Walter State, correct?
Walter State has held it the past 2 times, I think, maybe 3.
No, last year was Westridge.
When
it's their turn.
When it's their turn, okay.
When it's their turn, I think they've done the last 2. And I just happened to reach out to someone that I know from District 2, and I said, hey, region going to be here for too long. Just making sure. We're going to be at Walter State, because that's kind of what I'd heard last year. And they said, well, about that, they only have 3 schools down there now that play basketball in District 2. Washburn, Hancock, and Cosby. And what they did, and see, here's the weird part about that, they kind of told me they were not wanting to let this information get out just yet. Man, that's like a little over a month away. I mean, folks need to kind of plan and need to know things, so I don't know what the big deal is on keeping it a secret. But I think those 3 schools voted, and from what I've heard, 2 of the 3 schools voted to rotate the regional tournament inside their schools. So 1 year it would be at Cosby.
1 year would be at Hancock.
2 years later it'd be at Hancock or Washburn, and then 2 years later it'd be at whoever ain't had it yet. It's rotated amongst those 3 schools. The weird part about that is the way things are getting realigned and people are getting moved around every 2 to 4 years. There's no guarantee that they'll all end up hosting it. But here's the difference in their district and ours. All 3 of their schools, by the way, have been approved to host regional tournaments based on geography. And what they do, just for you folks need to know stuff like this or you're curious, they take all the schools in the region. So it would be our 4 and their 3. They take the 7 schools and then they average. Okay, let's take one location. Let's take Cosby. How long does it take for Cloudland to get there? North Green, Unaka, UH, Washburn, Hancock. So they take those schools and they average the amount of time that it takes to travel to your school. And if you come in under an hour and a half, they approve you. Now, you also have to meet the seating capacity rule, which means you have to be able, in 1A and 2A, you have to be able to seat 1,000 people. So Washburn built a new gym a few years ago. We got to see it down there during volleyball season. Nice place. Hancock, they built their new school. It's probably going on 20 years ago now, maybe longer. And their gym's plenty big enough. And Cosby, I mean, we seat about 750, and they are bigger than us, so I'm sure they probably get to around 1,000. So they all met the geography criteria, and they all meet the seating capacity criteria. Now you look at us, Unaka and Cloudland, both of them got scratched just because of geography. It takes more than an hour and a half on average to get to their gyms for all the other schools in the region. We got accepted, and so did UH, but we would not meet the seating capacity requirements. You can scratch us, and UH, they have a hard time sometimes just scheduling regular season games. There's no way they could work it out with ETSU and their women playing the same gym there at Brooks. And they've expressed that to us, how difficult it is to change things and move things and to add things. So I don't think there's any way they'd ever be able to host. So when we go to District 2 for the region, which is this year, they'll have a huge advantage because they'll be playing it in somebody's home gym. And then when it's our year to host, we'll probably always have it at a neutral site. So we'd like for them to have it in a neutral site. I think it's a little more fair. But, it also takes the hassle away from them trying to find a place because sometimes it's hard. So I understand it all, but it's confusing. We'll have a lot of people frustrated because they've looked at our schedule all year and it said Daniel Boone District, Walter State Region, and we find out in late December that both of those statements are untrue. So we're still in scramble mode. I think the region's going to be at Cosby this year. I've not
District's still up in the air.
District's still up in the air. I've not even been told officially that it's at Cosby. That's just one person I heard from District 2.
So technically both are kind of still in the air.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, we got us a corner.
Good one.
From Temple, looks like.
Temple. Who knows? But there's our. How long did we go today?
This
My
is
gosh.
2 hours and a half.
This might be the record for the longest one.
We got all
Maybe
the
you can
records.
cut some of this out.
Oh, some of it will get trimmed.
Yeah.
There might be some.
Cut that
segments
part
where
out
it's-
where Sam starts talking over there about paying money to see something.
Nobody's gonna know what I was talking about.
What's he talking about?
I don't know.
Paying money to see something?
Yeah, cut.
Yeah, what were you talking about?
Cut.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's all we got?
That was impressive. Don't cut that. That was impressive.
What's
The
that
handshake
catch right
and
there?
catch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Alright, that's it. We've probably crossed the hour and a half mark. Might get cut down a little bit though.
Well, what was
Don't
we
know.
gonna do anyway?
Somebody's really bored if they watch this whole show from start to finish. Or you're
Remember when Hampton?
highly entertained.
Remember when Hampton said they watched it?
There's a couple
Might
guys
still-
from Hampton. They might
still
still
do it.
tune in. Just for
If you
entertainment.
do, hello. Hope they make it this far.
They get together.
How bored do you gotta be to go over to each other's house and watch us on Facebook?
A lot of people must get bored then. 'cause
Hey, Pat
a lot of people watch
McAfee.
your show.
Pat McAfee's in hot water.
I saw, what was all
There's
that
an
about?
ESPN executive that's way high up on the ladder that said there's no way we should pay this moron that amount of money to do a daytime show. And they paid him anyway. And now the guy's kind of, throwing off on him a little bit because their ratings haven't been great. I think they're better than what was usually going on there at 12 o'clock on ESPN, but it still wasn't that big of a boost for that guy to justify giving him how much ever, 80 million or whatever it was. And McAfee just talks about it on the air. And that's like his superior, his boss. He don't care. And what that shows me, have you ever watched that show?
Yeah,
Those
I
guys
watched
are
it.
idiots.
Yeah.
Them guys can go off from that too and make a lot of money. doing
They
that
know
stuff.
what they're talking
They
about,
had like
but
a
they're
50
funny. And I guess people just enjoy listening to people talk about sports
Yeah.
that are, maybe just acting a fool. Because
Look
that's
at
what they
Barstool
do.
Sports.
Yeah.
As successful as Barstool Sports are, 90% of the time you can't tell if they're serious or joking.
Yeah.
Stephen
But
A.
look-
said he's either going on his own now or he's going to get paid like that too. So it's caused that. Did you see
Last
that?
thing too, did you see the press box last night at the national championship?
Stephen A.
Jordan and
was-
Jeter.
Stephen A. was in
Michael
there with-
Jordan, Derek Jeter, Scottie Pippen,
Well, Jordan's
Stephen A.
dang
Smith,
logo is
Travis Scott.
on the jerseys. You got a basketball player.
Jeter's also a Jordan guy. I forget about
Yeah.
that.
Didn't he go there though? Is that thing?
Who?
Jeter.
I don't
Michigan.
know.
I think he was a high school
Oh,
kid.
was he a high school
I think
kid?
he was a high school kid.
Well,
That's it.
Bye.
Anything else you want to leave off on?
We got a good corner here. All right.
He's
Bye.
still- Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug
That's it.
Company TMB show presented by Starne Barbershop. We look forward to seeing y'all next
It's
time
over!
here on Grassroots Media.